Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? So, um, yeah, Bulls defending so far this morning. If you remember last night, took a little shorter on the 300 area right here after we had the sell-off back test and played down to like these 220s area. I said I thought it could go a little bit further, and sure enough, it did. But this is what I was really looking out for was this morning getting that getting that reaction from the Bulls. And so we got a little bit of a pullback, maybe halfway of this rip right here. And so honestly, that might be good enough just based on what this market's been doing the last few days and weeks. We might only go down to that 21,100 level. Now, I said I really would prefer, closer to this 21,000. I just don't see us ever getting that without some type of catalyst. Now, very early in the week, never say never, but that's kind of where we're at. Quickly, I was going to look at what we have going on today in terms of economic releases. I like going to investing.com and I just filter down to United States and then kind of your higher priority, higher importance. So the 2-star, 3-star items. And you can see that really today we've had a couple of Fed speakers so far this morning, and then we've got the leading index here in about a minute, top of the hour, and then we've got Kashkari, or some call them Crashkari, maybe come in and give us some bearish sentiment towards the end of the day. And so leading index, not one of the bigger movers, but I mean, it might be something that they use to spur off, a change. And something I like about investing.com is you can click on it and read about, exactly what it is. Most of these are surveys or just ways that they can survey either shipping managers or different groups of people to get sentiment on the market. And so you can read through these and see exactly what each one of them are. In terms of earnings, we don't have a lot going on today. Looks like we have TripAdvisor. I assume this is going after the bell, not one that I really watch, but tomorrow before the bell, we've got Home Depot. This could be really good going into the summer months. It's good to see what they always say and what kind of outlook they give, as it's a reflection of housing, and housing is one of the biggest drivers of our economy. And then PanW, Palo Alto, it's a bigger name that I think a lot of people have been swing trading, and it'd be interesting to see. And then a couple of these others going on later in the week that we can get into later. So opening up as far as the heat map, down about 0.5%. Again, we started selling late after hours Friday after Moody's gave us downgrade on our credit rating. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. VIX is still hovering around the 18. I'd love that VIX to stay above 15. It makes our lives so much easier as traders to make moves and to just capitalize on the volatility. Now, too much VIX, I think when we were up around the 30, I think it also hurt a lot of traders. So this is kind of our happy medium, right? In this 18 to 25, 17 to 23 is kind of historically where I like it to be. And so here we go. Data's about to drop. It looks like it just did. And sure enough, not a crazy reaction. You'll get some of these 10 o'clock datas will just give you insane candles, 100-point, 200-point candles, depending on how much of a surprise it is and its level of importance. But again, leading indicators not always the greatest. I think we've got some bigger important news this week coming up. If I look at tomorrow, you got some more Fed speakers. Wednesday, you've got a 20-year auction. That's usually a good one to watch out for. This is a weekly crude oil inventories. I don't really look at that, but the crude oils traders usually do. Thursday is going to be probably your heaviest day. It looks like you have a couple of PMI readings. It's the Purchasing Managers Index, and we're going to get that for May, and we'll be wrapping up the 4th week of May here this week. A 10-year tips auction, that's usually a good one to watch. And then this balance sheet that comes after the close, so I don't typically watch those. And then Friday, home sales, building permits. I mean, those are some I would say more important than today's data, but not our highest data. With it being a Friday, they might use that to give us a nice move. So I'll be watching out for those. So the market is just ripping so far today. We were down. Let's see. We were down as much as, where did we close? Friday, we would have closed right around this area. This is just rough numbers. So we were down nearly 2% after hours, and we're back up, and we're only down about 0.5%. So market's up 1.5% since its lows from Globex, and seeing just a strong buy reaction from the bulls. I'm going to scour some of my other scanners and see the goal this morning. I'm not going to stay on too long. I just want to get a quick trade this morning. It was green, $700 last night here on these Top Step accounts. And then I have the Tradeifys here on another screen that were up about $200. And so it's Monday. Just want to finish green, close green, and no reason to rush it. And so I'll probably stick around for the next 30 minutes or so and see if we can get one trade and then close it up and do some trading offline later today. All right, so I was looking for a little bit of a short there, and it looks like we got some news. I'm trying to figure out. I'm sure Trump said something, or maybe a Fed speaker, but just a quick 40, 50 point rip there on that candle. And we live with that. We take that. I think that was a good short, in my opinion, to just at least try it, fighting the trend a little bit. But with it being this early in the week, I usually just close those out. I mean, some of these news candles can just continue, and we could close that gap and really extend. And so I ended up just closing that out, and we're gonna watch here for a second, see if we can get one more shot at it before um, this initial balance gets set. Seeing if we can get one here just right at the figure 400, but the potential to add. If we hold kind of these 20s to the figure, I think there's an opportunity to go see that 80 level and completely fill the gap on MNQ. I mean, everything's really looking bullish this morning. If you go to our watch list, we can kind of fly through all of these and see just what, I mean, everything's got a little buy reaction. There's the VIX fade from Friday to now. Apple get buys. Microsoft, probably the strongest name you can see out of all of them. Something I like about trading views, you can really sort this high to low and see, say, of the tech watch list, Microsoft, Meta, looking the strongest. You can scroll down a couple of names I've thought about swinging. Seeing some strength there, and just macro, the tick 45% to our favor. Do point out that the 10-year treasury nilled, showing some green there. I mean, not ideal. And then let's see if I can come up. There's a way on TradingView to show the heat map, and I'm trying to remember where that is. Just go to the tradingview.com. We don't want the chart. There we go. And heat map. Come on, TradingView. Yeah, I'll have to find that later. Well, we're holding those 20s, and I didn't really get the chance to get in. I'm not sure I love the idea of trying to chase this here. I still think we could go fill this gap, kind of these 80s, 90s. Since our initial short didn't work out, it's clear that bulls are in control this morning. New highs. See if I go to this. Last close was actually around the 506 area, so we got some room. To here is kind of where we're looking. That would be the target for the bulls. See if they can get it up to there. I'm going to start kind of a short position, and with the opportunity to add here to full position size. When I do these micros, I like to keep it sub 10 just because of the fees. It doesn't make sense to be trading, 10 plus micros when you can just trade the same notional value using one of the minis and save yourself on the fees. So we're going to start a bit of a short position here and see what we can get. I think long-term bulls kind of want to see those 500s again. But you can see, we've done nothing but rip kind of during the open, and quite extended from VWAP, quite extended from the 21 EMA, and really even that 9 EMA. And all I'm looking for is us to really kind of go fill in and build a base around this volume node. I don't see us really going lower than 380. Unless we do get the chance to go and close this gap, then I think we could see a bit more of a range day. Just with the lack of economic data and stuff going on today, that could make sense. Again, we just kind of have Fed speaks, and now that leading index is over, that's really all we have. We got nothing. Probably just watching the wire, see what Mr. Trump says, see if Bessent has any announcements as well or commentary. I don't see China really releasing any data. They usually do during Globex just because they're on the other side of the world. So probably setting up for a bit more of a choppy action today now that we've ripped. Probably hold this area, maybe get a little bit of a pullback. You can see what I'm trading here. But the kind of the story that's been going the last few weeks is just a slow grind higher, VIX fade, everything back to normal. All right, stepped away for a minute, but looks like we're getting some of our TPs hit on these shorts. I'm going to close it up just because we're going into this initial balance to where we could just get the quick pullback and rip, a continuation of this trend. And so this is typically where I like to scale in, move to break even, and see. So let me go into settings here, privacy, and I just want to check the balance on this guy. What do I want to see? I want to see realized and unrealized P&L. And so, yeah, we were at 750 as of this morning, took that $200 loss, and then made it right back and moved to break even. So we're still down a little bit from this morning, but 40 bucks is, small pennies in the grand scheme of things. And again, this is just a combine and documenting the process of passing it. And so we lose these 400s, and especially, going into this initial balance, we do see some strong price action. I mean, the most I see it going is to retest the bottom of this initial kind of bull flag. It's probably easier to see on the 2-minute here. We had the rip, and then for over the course of 6 or 7 candles, bull flag, then breakout, continue, and we've just been riding this EMA on the 2-minute. Just been riding it, and so there's the break under 400. Probably should scale one more out right there. And there I've got the rest to break even. And there we go. We're at 800. So, hey, whole $50 higher. But again, started about 30 minutes ago. And we're just going to let this guy run here for the next little bit. Now, maybe justify. Oh, there's a little bit bigger of a break. And with it being early in the day, we're just going to watch it real quick here. Maybe move that guy down. And I'm going to go ahead and just take that. So 922, combination of last night and then this morning, just adding a couple $100 to it. And we got the rest of the day. With these top step combines, you're allowed to pass it in 2 days. And so I usually just double check that I have a profit target set up, and sure enough, I do. So once I get 1,510 in a given day, I just have it. Good thing I checked that. I have it liquidate and save. I don't do liquidate and block because there was a time that I had some slippage and it was a bit lower and it caused me to roll into the third day. Not the end of the world, but it's just nice that you have this option to lock out exactly at 1,500 to liquidate, and then at least compare balances and go from there. But I'm going to go ahead and call it for the next little bit and continue trading here on these other accounts. But starting the week off good. Should be a slower start to the week, and I don't want to get too greedy. So, peace.